So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first.
Ladies, gentlemen, Toydarians of an uncomfortably racist age, welcome to Hell of a Pilot episode 32. With me tonight, and as always, on my left at Mike's house, Lockie.
Yeah, it's good for you and I to be in the same room again. I feel like the last couple of recordings I haven't actually seen you. It's nice to see you.
We'll go into that. Mike, on my right. How you going, Mike?
I am in my house as well.
Yes.
And it's good to be in my house, and it's good to be...
It's good to have us all together.
We've got the band back together.
Yeah. The last show, it was pouring down rain, and I just couldn't get here in time because there was like a lot of crashes, and it wouldn't have been a fun drive for like 3 hours, and I would have shown up here like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. And then the last time, it wasn't even supposed to happen.
That was the emergency beacon.
The emergency beacon, yeah.
Oh, it was...
The fires were lit. Gondor needs aid.
It has been really tough with the amount of content that's come out, and it feels ridiculous that there was ever time when we were worried and didn't have anything to record about, and now there's too much.
No, I think actually, in fact, a month ago we were saying to ourselves, we need to start coming up with content ideas.
What do? We have to ask the fans, what are we going to talk about?
And,
then you made your super cheeky Holonet news, and then, boy howdy.
Like, if we honestly think that there's a spy embedded in this place somewhere waiting to release content, then if they were already waiting for that, they got very angry when they heard that last thing, and they thought, okay, we're going to do our usual, but worse.
Actually, that explains. I got a call before, and someone said, they're in the house.
Oh, man.
So there's actually the FFG marketing person's actually in the house right now with us.
There's one person in the house, and there's an unmarked van outside that's just been sitting there for hours. Are they recording yet? Can we release it? God damn it, FFG!
I want to see what comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, something will come out tomorrow, won't it?
Actually, it's pretty funny, and I love this little community of friends we're building, because every time something, like either an article will come out and we'll get a message of somebody saying, so did you guys record last night?
Yes.
Or we'll put out a message that says we are recording, and people will go, well, that means new article tomorrow.
Can't wait for the new article, guys. Thanks.
I love that we got this little in-joke happening, but also if any more news comes out, I am just gonna cry.
So, speaking of news and what's on the show, Lockie, what's on the show, and speak of news. Okay,
so even though we are going to be pretty behind with all this, let's be honest, we're going to talk about the Source Renegades expansion and the TIE Reaper expansion. We're not going to talk very much about 2.0, if at all, in this episode, just because we want to give ourselves more time to read and research and actually gather our thoughts. This weekend just gone, I had to go camping, which is just terrible timing for that. So I really don't know very much about version 2 still, which is...
I think there's a lot of great commentary out there already. I think Reddit has been doing a fantastic job, so there's stuff there. So I think, and we spoke about this, I think, and Hairy Nick has been putting out some great videos on his channel too, breaking down what we know collectively. But I think the approach we agreed upon is that, let's sit back and be reflective, and actually, so rather than being reactive and saying, hey, this ship has 2 dice, we can actually we want to come back and say, this is what it means for the game, this is what it means more broadly, and to go from there.
So, yeah, that's... I think we're going to take a step back, wait for a bit more content to come out, and then aside from our 40-minute rant about how everything is amazing, we want to come at you with some nice things and newer stuff, and really nail down what is changing and what we should look forward to. Also, what else is on the show?
We're doing a lore section, like we always do. I'm looking at our good friend Mike here, because he's doing that.
Yep. So, look, I am going to talk about the evolution. I like doing my kind of history ones. So I'm going to talk about the evolution of space combat or space warfare in the Star Wars universe, stretching back 5,000 years of Star Wars history.
Oh, we're going Old Republic?
Yes. Yes, we are.
Hammerhead Corvettes. Love it. Okay, I don't think we need to waste any time. On with the show.
Good evening, citizens, and welcome to Holonet News. First off tonight, a story for all our citizens in the Mid-Rim. Although they aren't yet considering a complete travel ban, the Imperial Board of Tourism suggested anyone planning a trip to Jeddah should reconsider their need to travel there due to ongoing
Attention, people of the galaxy. There will be no state-sponsored news tonight. Tonight, the only news is this. The Empire's days are numbered. I am Magva Yarrow of the Jeddah Cavern Angels. We have taken control of this usual absurd torrent of lies and propaganda to tell the inhabitants of this galaxy that they can be free, but also to ask if they will fight for their freedom. The Empire can be beaten, and you can be one of the people who brings them down. You could join the Rebel Alliance, or if you really want to get something done, you can join up with Saul Guerrera. Become a partisan, and you'll realize that rebellion is black and white. When someone attacks you, just use that to lock onto them and attack them right back. We're few in number, but we will spread our wings.
This is Imperial Security Bureau. It has come to our attention that tonight's Holonet news has been hijacked by insurgents. Never fear, though. Our white hat ISB slicer has found how they access the network and jammed them, preventing them from illegally using this service any further. Do you often find your datapads and other comm devices falling prey to unpermitted remote access and other forms of misuse? Why not consider subscribing to ISB Antivirus? For just 100 credits a month, the ISB will keep rebels, scoundrels, and slicers out of your personal files. Remember, somebody's going to read your stuff, so it might as well be the government. And now back to your scheduled program.
And although his trousers were found intact, there is still no sign of Grand Admiral Thrawn. This is Holonet News.
Ha! So that was so funny and definitely wasn't pre-recorded. Let's talk about Saul's Rebels.
Oh yeah, okay. We can do that. It's I don't know. I feel weird talking about these packs now because my brain still thinks in version 1, which it's not going to be always, but like for example, I thought of this really stupid build. If you put expert handling, dash render, and collision detector on a U-wing, you can barrel roll onto a rock and still shoot. But that's only in version 1. Like that's not. I don't know if that's going to be in version 2.
Can we address the elephant in the room? As like this is great for version 1, but what does it mean for version 2?
Well, what it means for version 2 is, and I'll show you in the picture here. You see that?
Yes.
The Soars, Renegades, and TIE Reaper boxes are, in a sense, the first expansions of version 2. They are going to come with version 1 and 2 content in them.
Yeah, so they're treating them as, they're calling them previews.
Yeah.
So you will be getting the pilot cards and some of the paraphernalia with that. And I think probably the most important things to bear in mind is the fundamental change to the X-Wing. So I think
it has movable wings now. Fundamentally,
it'll have movable wings, and I think that's all we need to say. But apart from that,
in-game and out of game, yeah,
it's a true X-wing.
Well, as for in-game, I played a game against Mike the other week, and just to proxy the Servo Motor S-foils and the Renegade refit.
Tell me about this. Tell me how did it go.
First of all, it just felt really, really good to fly a squad of 4 X-Wings, because I had literally never done that before, even in the early days, and they were all named pilots, by the way. So that was pretty good. The Renegade refit...
Oh, because with the Renegade refit, you're knocking out some points. Yeah. You can have more than just Blue Squadron pilots.
Correct. The Renegade refit is handy because it's a 2-point discount and then a 1 point discount on any EPT. So depending on what you choose to put on there, you can kind of put on a 3 point EPT for free, kind of. It's essentially VI for free on any ship if you wanted to do it that way. I put VI on the new pilot Colby Sperado, the one where you can flip the S-foils over. Probably shouldn't have done that, actually. It didn't really make much of a difference. Probably should have used intensity or something like that. But the S-foils, it's really good. It made the ship so much easier to move. The fact they had Talon rolls...
That was a huge difference
for
repositioning. Yep.
Exactly. It was just so much easier to get around.
Yep.
And the fact that the ship could barrel roll, like, these seem like small things, but the fact that there were more things the ship could do... But the only thing I thought was weird, and it was kind of a telegraphing thing, I didn't want to do it, and I didn't even need to do it very often, was flipping the S-foils. Like, having them closed... Like, you sort of needed to start the game with them closed because boost is more valuable until you're right in the enemy's face, and then barrel roll is more valuable. So as soon as they were open, they stayed open. I didn't feel the need to flip them. And even if I did... The fact that you had to do it at the start of the activation phase was kind of a dead giveaway, but I think in version 2, it's at the beginning of each individual ship's activation.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
Which works a lot better.
Yeah, so that'll make it... Look, I think it's a fix that is good, and I think would have been good in version 1. Whether that would have been enough to boost them to tier 1 level in terms of competitive play, hard to say. But I think what will really, the proof in the pudding will be when we get to edition 2. And I think that's when this new mechanic and the fundamental changes to the game itself will all come together. And I think
they're gonna want to keep it the X-Wing such a strong ship.
Correct.
in version 2, because I think they heard us.
Yeah.
They really have heard us, and they've heard us say, how come there's no X-Wings in X-Wing?
Yeah.
And now that we've got this, they've seen this, they've done this fix for version 1, it's spectacular. It's funny that the thing that we've been crying out for ages is the last thing to ever come out.
But they've really committed to it. Like the extra green that you get on the S-foils in version 1, that's just on the dial. The dial for the X-Wing in version 2 is better. But the reason, and I know I said we weren't going to talk about version 2 very much, but just while we're talking about Renegade refit, which probably won't be necessary in V2, come to think of it, but the fact that it was a torpedo, I was kind of happy and sad about that. I was happy because I thought, well, no one ever uses the torpedo on the X-Wing anyway, so it's not something we'll miss. But then I thought, oh, isn't it a shame? Like, shouldn't they have a torpedo?
They can't fire the proton missiles, and that's so thematic.
But in version 2, they can.
Yes!
They will. Exactly. So you'll actually be able to fly X-Wings with ordnance on them.
Have they previewed the version 2 cards?
Yes.
Version 2 cards from Source Pack.
Not Source Pack, no.
Okay.
But we've seen... Look, there's lots of stuff coming out on Facebook and Reddit, so there's a flood of box openings and previews and spoilers and stuff like that.
Actually, I think I've seen a picture of the servo motor S-foils for version 2.
I have too. I've seen a card for that as well.
Yeah.
But look, I think it's worth noting, like, if you look in version 2, the X-Wing, it's got a focus and native target lock and a native barrel roll as well. And it looks like, with servo motors, you'll have that boost ability too. So look, it was fun games. We played a couple games actually that night to test it out, and it was fun. It was sort of like, I think it'll make the ship a lot, just a lot more fun. I mean, I keep saying the word fun, but
that's something that is very important to these games now, because we're now reaching the end. How much fun can we have with this?
Yeah.
What nonsense can we build, and what weird ships can we put on the table and be like, hey, this never worked before?
Yeah. See, here's the thing, right? I was, I played against Mike, and he did beat me in small part because even with this fix, an X-Wing should not be jousting a TIE silencer, but it was just worth it to try.
Yeah, it was.
Like it was fun flying those damn X-Wings around,
Yeah.
But yeah, the U-Wing though.
Alright, we're going to talk about the U-Wing now.
Yeah, like I reckon they're probably going to fix the U-Wing.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely looking forward to flying it when I get it, because you remember what I said in a few episodes ago. The main problem with the U-Wing was the pilot abilities were a bit rubbish.
Yeah.
The new pilot abilities seem like they're actually worth having. So, you know.
It's also the case it's moving to a medium base.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an important thing as well. So in terms of being more manoeuvrable, and I think it has and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's going to have another dial on, sort of be more manoeuvrable.
Yeah.
As well.
Good.
In terms of its dial.
Good.
So the combination of that, and I think there was some playthroughs that were on the YouTubes. I think it was Alex Davey from FFG playing somebody from Team Covenant.
Yes.
There and the U-Wing came out of that.
I haven't watched that, but
Yeah, but the U-Wing came out of that really strong.
Oh.
In that playthrough, and lots of people are excited.
So with version 2, do you know if there's going to be double-sided cards, or is that gone now? Like, the U-Wing has the foil...
The pivot wing.
Yeah.
The pivot wing title, I don't know if it's double-sided, but the pivot wing title is still in there. They've added, you can rotate the ship 90 degrees, doesn't have to be just 180.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Which again gives it more, and I think they've changed the order in which, so you're not necessarily telegraphing the move as well. So... Yeah. Look, it's going to be good. So by the time I get Saw Renegades pack, I'll have 3 U-Wing models, so that I might actually play them.
Yeah.
So let's actually start going over the pilots that have been spoiled
Yep.
with this. We like we always do. I guess we'll start with Saw Gerrera. When a friendly ship at range 1 to 2 attacks, if it is stressed or has at least 1 damage card, it may reroll 1 attack dice. That's I don't know.
At first I thought that was bad, but you have possibly not realised what I didn't realise at first either. That itself counts. A friendly ship at range 1 to 2, they've added range 0 in version 2, but in version 1 they didn't have that, so at range 1 includes itself.
Yes.
So if you do a full red stop, you're now stressed and you can reroll the dice.
It might not be bad to push the limit. You can move up to something, push the limit with a focus, like, I don't know, boost focus, and if you're in range 1 of the enemy, Saw kicks in, and then you kind of have a target lock, like a weak target lock as well.
Also, if a ship has a damage card, like, that's very easy to achieve.
Thanks, Kylo. Here it comes back at you.
But yeah, if you...
There's also his 26 points.
Yeah, he is 26 points, but you can use his ability pretty well if you put Ezra crew and Hera crew on him.
Stop.
He can just do red stops forever. His focus changes to crit because of Ezra, and he can re-roll because he's stressed. So you can just deploy him in the corner and never ever move him. Like, you'll lose a friend. Whoever you're playing against will never talk to you again.
Just sit there and shoot.
But, I mean, you can do it.
It's a turret. It just sits there. It's a turret.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I want to do that. I want to see how many friends I can lose. This is Saw Gerrera. He'll be staying here for a while.
Yeah. Put the Renegade refit on there and put some sort of EPT on him. I don't know.
Alright, let's move on to the next one. Benthic 2 Tubes. Also, that guy's a really cool character model. The design with the... What race is he?
I don't know. I think he's new.
Oh.
Yep.
When you perform a focus action, you may remove 1 of your focus tokens to assign it to a friendly ship at range 1 to 2. 24 points. Isn't that also in like the... What's that?
Yeah, that ability actually isn't great because it's worse than Kyle Katarn.
That's what I was about to say. Like, wasn't there like another person who did something very similar?
Yeah, Kyle Katarn just passes a focus at any time. This is locked to the action. So if you don't perform a focus action, it doesn't matter if you have... So you can't put Rey on there even and just keep using focus tokens with her because they aren't focus actions.
To get the maximum out of it, you need Rey on Recon Specialists.
Well, the Rey doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Rey doesn't help.
No.
But yeah, Recon Specialist, you're right. Like a focus for me and a focus for you.
Yeah.
Boom. But still not great.
Yeah. Oh well. I guess.
She's not spoiled in the pack, but I think that Magva Yarrow is also going to be a U-Wing pilot, which if her crew ability is her pilot ability, that's going to be great.
Yeah.
Also, she looks super badass.
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
After crew card, Magna Yarrow. Magva Yarrow.
Not magma. You're going to make people from Hawaii very upset.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry. After defending, you may acquire target lock on the attacker. Yeah, that's not bad.
2 points.
2 points.
Yeah.
2 points is pretty good.
That's amazing.
Okay,
I mean, you've got a lot of large base rebel ships out there who could have that quite happy, like a Ghost. Having that would be nice. Put it on the U-wing, I think, again, as another
Oh my
thing.
god. Oh wait.
Put it and you know what, on the Wookiee gunship, because that's a ship which doesn't have a native target lock.
Yeah.
And that gives that sort of, it's already an efficient ship. So expertise in the EPT. Put good old Magva, or Magma, as we like to call her, on there as well, and suddenly you've got a little bit more efficiency. So I like her.
And you can just keep using your action for reinforce.
Yep.
Magva Yarrow instead of Ezra on the ship that stays still. They fly at you, they shoot at you. You get a target lock, you fire a missile back at them. You stay still.
How many torpedoes?
You get 1.
Hang on, the U-wing only has 1 torpedo, so if you put that refit on there, it doesn't have it anymore. But
Damn shame. Well, I retract my statement. Saw Gerrera's crew card. When attacking, you may suffer 1 damage to change all of your eye results to crit results.
I really hope
Kind of good.
I really hope he's still exactly with this text in version 2, because I really want this card. End of sentence.
Okay, you are a mad genius in your own right. Please tell me what concoction have you come up with? What's he gonna do that's gonna blow people away?
Well, the two combinations, actually, they can both kind of go with Nora Wexley, but Nora's special ability has good synergy with him, because she spends a target lock and gets an eye, and then all of a sudden it's a crit. She takes the damage and regens with R2-D2. We've talked about this before. But Saw Gerrera with the advanced proton torpedoes.
Range 1.
Yep, you have to get into range 1, so it's a little bit of a
5
risk.
dice, range 1.
Yeah.
Everything.
But it automatically, as the card text, those torpedoes, converts blanks to eye results. So you don't have to spend a focus, you spend a target lock, roll some dice, like you almost...
Crit.
Yeah,
Oh, that's beautiful.
The trade-off is you take a damage, but I'll take a damage to give you 3 crits.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Come on. And come to think of it, that's something you can do with Nora still. But yeah, Saw is really good efficiency, I think, because even on ships without regen, it's just not that big a trade-off. Like, if you don't have a focus token and you want to convert the eye, like, converting to a crit, even if the enemy has shields, so they don't take the crit, it's still a hit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're in a position where you're out of the enemy's arc, so you'll take maximum of 1 damage, the damage you inflict on yourself, and you roll, say, 4 dice, and it's a 1 hit, a blank, and 2 eyes, then you maybe do that. Or if you're attacking an unshielded enemy...
Yeah, absolutely do it.
Yeah, look, there's risk involved, because you have to take the damage, but I feel like for 1 point, he's giving you hit chances.
Mike, what were you going to say?
Oh, look, as you were talking, I was just thinking about something for fun, like the much underplayed Wolf Warro in the Wookiee gunship. So you put Saw and Magva on that with expertise. So basically, you're taking a target lock, and then you damage yourself to increase Wolf Warro's damage output.
When a Wookiee hits you, it will be a critical hit.
It will, and that just sounds like a lot of fun to me.
I just also want to say this is very thematic for Saw Gerrera. I really like how they introduce this kind of like self-sacrifice. Not self-sacrifice, but like that such aggression.
Yeah.
His partisans they're just mean people.
Yeah.
I really like it when they make the abilities of pilots or crew cards fairly similar to that person's personality in canon in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I'd always thought that a character from Rogue One would probably be a discard. but this is close enough.
Yeah.
But
What's that robot?
K2SO.
K2SO. Discard to
Do
give
something.
2 damage to all
Yeah.
enemies in range 1 to 3.
Like,
5 points.
Yeah, I'd always thought that a K2
Yeah.
crew card would be one that you had to spend. Oh, and now people for months have been saying, will K2SO be in this pack? Like he won't be in this pack because this pack is heavily thematic,
Yes.
and K2SO is not
Yeah.
a partisan.
Yeah.
But now that they're adding pilots to the game in the conversion packs to pre-existing ships that weren't in pre-existing packs, they're doing that. So K2SO could be in the conversion kit. Like he might be coming
be.
to the game.
Yeah.
Like,
We
it
don't-
won't be in this pack, but he might be.
No, and you'd have to be with the Rebel faction as well.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
for obvious
Rebel
reasons.
faction, not
Yeah.
new resistance.
Not
Okay,
the
let's move on
resistance,
to
Yeah.
let's move on to the X-wings. Colby Spit. Come on, man. What do we got?
Colby Sperado.
Let's call him Speedo.
Speedo.
Speedo!
Killing in speedos.
Yep.
And any Australian listener is now thinking of former Prime Minister Tony Abbott.
Yes.
Yes,
Any-
that was
any-
a photo.
Yeah.
Any non-Australian listener is lucky.
Don't Google that. Just save your eyes.
Yeah, really don't. We're not all like him.
Although Lachlan is a little.
Yeah, well,
Look, everyone look. Budgie smugglers are comfortable and easy to wear.
Is that why you're wearing them?
Yes. After you perform a boost or barrel roll action, you may flip your equipped servo motor S-Foils upgrade card.
Nice.
Yeah.
so I think the thinking with this guy was move with the S-foils closed, use the improved dial and maybe boost, and then flip it over and have your S-foils open for the full primary attack, or approach with the primary attack, use flight assist astromech, close them, then boost, then open them again. There's a lot of flexibility there, a lot of options. But I found that it wasn't necessary for me to use it very often. I liked knowing it was an option, but didn't need a lot of use. So originally I thought this ship would want to be PS9 because then it could hunt lower PS ships or something with that flexibility. But in the end, PS7 was actually fine, and maybe intensity or even expert handling would have been pretty good for taking off target locks. Look, I think it's a cool upgrade. Sorry, not cool upgrade. I think it's a cool pilot ability. I don't know if it will be the same pilot ability in version 2. Might not be necessary, but
Would you reckon they'll even be in there?
yes.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
of course it is, because it's there. It's in the pack. Let's move on to Leven Tenza. I can say that one.
Nicely done.
Thank you. After you perform a boost action, you may receive 1 stress token to receive 1 evade token.
Nice.
Yes.
That's nice.
That's good.
That's really good. That one, yeah. And
This is going to work really well with
Yeah.
with Saw Gerrera crew card.
Really?
Yeah.
With
he'll- 'cause he'll-
Saw
he'll
Gerrera,
get-
the U-wing pilot.
Yeah. Yes.
Not the crew card.
Yes. You mean
Yeah.
Yeah.
having the stress, being able to re-roll. That's great. That's good.
If this ability is still the same although we know that evade tokens aren't as we know them in version 2, if this ability is the same in version 2, it'll be even better, because a pilot skill of 5 in version 1 is kind of a dead zone. It's neither here nor there, but that's not going to be a thing in version 2. Also, I want to retract what I said at the start of the episode. Apparently we are going to talk about version 2 a lot.
yeah, we are.
yeah, we are.
I think it's impossible to not.
Yeah, exactly.
At this point, because we're in that sort of, we're in the interim zone. We're in the
Look, we're excited. Come
We
on,
are,
give us
yes.
that.
We are excited.
I'm
Look,
super
I
excited.
think if that pilot's in the, hopefully they make the transition to Edition 2. I think that would be a great pilot. Probably coming in at like PS4 or something like that.
Is it
4
what,
out of 6?
No, maybe 3.
Yeah.
Maybe 3.
I mean, Luke's a 5.
Luke's a 5.
So,
okay, let's say-
quick question about
Yeah.
that.
yeah,
There is going to be nothing that will increase for pilots PS
correct.
at all.
The VI.
There isn't right now. It seems unlikely they'll bring it in because of how much they obviously regret it now, but we don't know that they never will. It isn't going to be in version 2 when version 2 comes
I just
out.
never found it as an issue. The PS War. I thought that was part of the game.
I think part of the problem was not even so much the PS war. I think what happened was so much of pilot skill became pointless.
Yeah.
Like when you had ships that were all the way up at PS 11, what was the difference between having a PS5 or a PS7? Like in the end, you were still getting outflown by that. And if you were paying an extra point to bring your ship up from PS9 to 11, why would you bother when everyone lower than you is so much lower than you? It didn't even matter to begin with. Like it was almost an irrelevant part of the game that they didn't need anymore.
And they wanted to kind of cut that out so that you could use that slot for, I guess,
and
more interesting
compressing the spectrum from 1 to potentially 11 to 1 to 6 means there's less of that gap in the middle.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually a really smart thing to do, because I think it just, like I said, Lockie, I mean, like, you know, you take a TIE interceptor or take a TIE defender pilot, I mean, you know, apart from Riyadh, but, you know, why would I spend 35, 36 points on a PS Glaive Squadron defender when I could get, you know, for the same points, I could get a PS 11 quick draw?
Yeah.
You know, just sort of.
And,
so, yeah.
And even though I think there's no plans for VI in version 2 right now, let's assume a scenario in which they did introduce it and the spectrum, as Mike pointed out, is much narrower. Someone who was supposed to be Initiative 3 is now Initiative 4, and even though it's only a jump of 1, because there's fewer jumps, you go, wow, that's actually very significant.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you reckon that will translate into bigger points buys?
Yeah, look, there's people been talking about that. Points bids as being but points bids have always been part of the strategy as well. I think that will become more significant, but I saw a discussion that I think good old David Leslie made a point on the Facebook thread I was part of, and that essentially is that if you are going for the points bid, then you're sacrificing something, so you're getting balanced that way.
Yeah. But now that the squads are going to be 200 points, bids are going to be much more risky. Like, why should I... Yeah, if I leave only 2 points out, it's probably not very much. Or
Or go 10 points, or go 20 points. You know,
we have to relearn how to bid.
Yeah, but I think that'll depend upon, because we really don't know what the cost of ships and upgrades are going to be at this point. So true. I think that's... But let's assuming, like, you know... Do
you reckon they're going to want more ships on the board?
You know what? I'd enjoy that. More ships, less upgrades, and less kind of type stuff. I think that...
So more like maybe 4 ships or 5 ships on the board.
Yeah, look, that could make it...
points.
Yeah, look, that could make it really interesting. But then you could end up with, I don't know, people fielding, 7 decimators or something. Who knows?
Well, there is 3 decimators in the kit.
Well, there you go. No, they've changed it, actually.
Oh, did they?
They've come out and said they've changed it.
Ah. What did they add? Did they add anything? Or
I think that...
They just took our decimators away.
Yeah, took 1 decimator down, and I think they added a couple other things as well. But look, you know what? I think it would be... Look... I think what they're trying to do is speed up the game a little bit.
Okay, so you reckon they're going to not do that?
Yeah, hard to say. You know what? We've been wrong before, so I'm not going to make any predictions.
All right, moving right along into the TIE Reaper Sowing Fear.
Yay!
Let's talk about this, Mike. You're excited. Hit it.
I am excited for this one. The model is very sexy. I haven't talked about models for a while, but I really like them.
Yeah, okay, I'm with you this time. This is a sexy looking model.
Yeah, this will be good. Look, and I think so. This is from memory. We'll move to medium base. It's on the small base at the moment. Couple of really interesting things that come in this is the Director Krennic and the optimized prototype.
Do you want to talk about that for a second?
Yeah. So look, that's a really one. So if we'll bring that up. So he's a crew card. He comes in at 5 points. And it says, during setup before the place forces, assign an optimized prototype to a friendly Galactic Empire ship with 3 or fewer shields. And again, so this is thematic, so it's for Galactic Empire only, so not for First Order, so you can't put that on at least Kylo and the Silencer, which is good.
There'll be separate factions in future anyway.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
And anyway, so what it does is once per round, when performing a primary weapon attack, you may spend 1 die result to remove a shield from the defender. Hello, Ghost. And
So it's just a guaranteed hit. It's like, okay, sorry.
yeah, but after you perform a primary weapon attack, a friendly ship at range 1 to 2 may acquire a target lock on the defender as well.
If a friendly ship at range 1 to 2 of the Director Krennic which means that people actually won't be booting him out the airlock with Moff Gideon after all, because what?
Did that change, like with the Director Krennic?
Oh, they didn't release that yet. It was a secret. You couldn't see the bottom of the card in any of the spreads before.
Yeah.
So
because everyone was just saying, like, let's just kick him straight out. Like, well done, Krennic. You've done your work out the airlock.
Yeah.
Which it would be thematic to the movie as well. Like, well done, Krennic. Now we're going to shoot you with the Death Star.
Yeah. But you're standing on my achievement.
Optimized prototype was already great, and then it got better. But I think it sort of encourages you to not put Director Krennic condition on the ship he's already on. Because would that second clause work
after a primary weapon attack?
And I think it would
work
range
1 to 2 of the equipped Director Krennic upgrade card may acquire target lock on the defender. So as long as it's...
because you're at range 1 of yourself. Yeah, actually forget about it.
What that does mean is that allows the Reaper, let's say we're putting on the Reaper, it allows the Reaper to be up in that action and not hiding away.
Correct.
Yeah.
And look, I think the Reaper is meant to be an aggressive ship.
Yes.
It's not a... It's
a support ship, but it's not really.
But it's not. So it's not like the Lambda shuttle... which you keep hidden in the back of the corner behind all the asteroids. This is a little faster. The dial's better. It can do a kind of a sloop. It's going to be medium base, I think, in addition to as well.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of firepower. I'm really looking forward to flying it. So I think it's sort of an aggressive support ship, if I could say that.
Well, especially if it has to be close by, like, because you sort of this condition is kind of giving a friendly ship the target lock action in a way on its action bar. So you want to be at range 1 to 2 of that friendly to make that ship even better.
Look, and there's various ways I'm thinking about this. Like in edition 1, if we didn't know about edition 2, this is something that you put Krennic in the Decimator and fly a TIE Phantom or Quick Draw or something like that with that classic 2-ship build. What we see in edition 2, hard to say, but I think he'll go in the Decimator. He'll go nicely in the Reaper itself. People have sort of put forward the idea, well, it could sit on the Phantom, but, I don't know. I don't think it's a lot of points to put on the Phantom as well.
That's true.
And you probably don't...
I think that'd actually be alright.
I don't honestly, I don't think it's that bad. I mean, Agent Callus, the classic one people used to use, is cheaper. And if but look, you know what?
Double Phantom list.
Yeah.
Coming at you.
Exactly. No, I think you know what? I'd love to fly a classic double Phantom list of Echo and what's her name, Whisper. To
come to think of it, the Phantom only has a primary attack value of 3 in addition to. So, maybe it used to be 4. Now it's 3.
Oh.
So there might be some slight changes to the Phantom that would make the ability to shred shields a bit more desirable.
Yeah. So we'll see. But Krennic looks good.
Let's talk about some other stuff in the box. ISB Slicer. You have seen. Their abilities so far on this show. After you perform a jam action against an enemy, you may choose one chip at range 1 of that ship. If it is not jammed, assign 1 jam token to it. What does a jam token do?
Jam tokens make it so that the opponent loses I think it was a focus or evade, token that they had, and if they have no tokens and they receive a jam token, the jam token stays until they perform a token action to get rid of it. So ISB Slicer is going to be a real mongrel. Being able to jam 2 ships with 1 action.
Oh, that could go nicely on a system.
It's just going to wreck the opponent's action.
I think that on the Reaper or that on the.
That just shuts down repositioning.
Yes.
Not repositioning.
Oh no, actions.
Can you still do boost and barrel?
Yeah, it's only token actions.
Okay.
And for 2 points, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Plus, if you want to use the pilot ability of Major Vermeil, it's probably going to help because there's more. If you use the ISB Slicer, it's more likely that a ship will be jammed.
So what is Major Vermeil?
When attacking, if the defender does not have a focus or evade token, you may change one of your blank or eye results to a hit result.
Amazing.
So if there's more than one ship jammed, the chances of the Major being able to aim at a jammed ship go up.
You jam it, then you re-jam it, you keep it jammed, and then you shoot it. Great. Love it.
Yeah. And look, stat lines, and we'll see how it goes in addition too, but I like it. It's got 3 red, so it's really aggressive. It's got an agility, 6 hull and 2 shields, so it's not going to blow up, straight away. I think these things I think this is the Imperial equivalent to the Wookiee gunship in terms of being a solid brawler.
Well, yeah, because it's got exactly the same upgrades to crew only, and
so this jam action will take away the Wookiee's ability to reinforce.
No,
doesn't have
as written. Yeah, that was something that was upsetting people about the Wookiees, and we might find there's a change to it in version 2 that the reinforce token is a reinforce token, not a focus or an evade.
Yeah.
So any ability or card that stripped a focus or evade token, the Wookiees just sit back and go, "What of it?" Except different.
Yeah.
It's more like
yeah, that.
Look, the other thing is there is another crew card we didn't talk about, which is, I think, is it the Tactical Officer?
Yeah.
This one I'm curious about. Your action bar gains the coordinate action. Powerful. So we've seen how powerful coordinate is on the Shithapede shuttle at the moment. So this gives the ability to... This is allowing Imperial ships to have that action. There as well, and I also believe in the expansion the Decimator also gains the native ability. It's a red action, but it gains the ability to coordinate as well.
I really like that there's red actions.
Same. That design mechanic, I love it because I think you know what I really like about the approach that they're taking? They're simplifying the combos. Yeah, that's what it seems to me. We're not having like token stacking type stuff. You can't push the limit to stress to get 12 tokens.
That said, I think the Tactical Officer crew card in version 2 is you change a red coordinate to a white.
Okay.
I think
so.
That's
What that means is that you put a tactical slot on
the Decimator.
Does that mean you cannot put that on anything else? You can't put that on...
I'm not 100% sure. I haven't, like I said, I haven't really studied it enough yet. But
what we're seeing is that
we will get back to you.
Yeah, but some of these abilities are going to be cross-faction, which I think is good in that regard.
Will it be cross-faction?
No, well, it's Imperial only here. And
but the coordinate.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah,
sorry.
That's what I meant, sorry.
Every faction will have access to coordinate.
Yes.
Can Scum coordinate?
Not at this point. No.
Right. I mean, it kind of makes sense. The Scummers wouldn't be all that coordinated. They're all in it for themselves. You go over here. No, you go over there.
I think the ability is called uncoordinate.
Yeah.
I think it's called Dead Man Switch.
Yes.
Yeah. I think another crew card that comes in this pack, even though it's one that has already been out for a couple of years, I think, is the Systems Officer.
Yeah.
Which there was a really awesome combo that will potentially not be available in version 2, but the pre-move that you do with a Reaper, it's not a boost, it's an actual white maneuver.
Yeah.
So if you put Twin Iron Engine Mark II, Systems Officer and Fleet Officer on there, you can do 2 green maneuvers in 1 turn, therefore giving 2 friendlies target locks, and then for your action use Fleet Officer, so you can give 2 friendlies, a focus, and a target lock in a turn for 1 action. Now that's a support ship.
That is awesome. That'd be cool.
Potentially not possible in version 2, but still.
But for that brief shining moment, let's talk about the advanced ailerons.
Yes.
TIE Reaper only.
Ailerons.
I can't do words today. TIE Reaper only. Title. Treat your 3-bank and 3-bank maneuvers as white. Okay?
They're normally red.
Really?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So hard turning slightly to the left. Drifting lazily to the left. I can't do it, man. I'm going to attach these super high-tech stuff on it. Oh, now it's fine.
I just think the ship's not well weighted, so the rear end keeps drifting, so that's why it's really stressful.
Immediately before you reveal your dial, if you are not stressed, you must execute a white straight maneuver. White straight, 1 bank, and straight.
Yeah, and that's very similar to the TIE Striker.
What was the TIE Striker one? Was it a 1 or was it a 2?
It was a 1.
Okay, so it is basically...
I think the only difference is it didn't change any dial color.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's like, you really need to put this on.
Yeah.
Like, we're not giving you a choice here.
Yeah.
And I think they had to do that, because I think the dial in this one is quite slow, isn't it? Does it even show the dial?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's down there.
Damn. Yeah, that's on you.
Okay. Listeners, listen closely as I scroll down the page.
Oh, do you know what? It has my favourite move on there, though.
Stop.
Yeah, the hard stop, the red stop.
Whoa!
See,
I know,
it can do one swoop.
A one
which
sloop. That's
I would be-
beautiful.
I would be tempted to play a game without the ailerons on because it's optional and just one sloop. Like that would feel just bizarre.
It would.
But can I tell you what? Like, I think when you think about this being a support ship and as an Imperial player, when you're so used to the Lambda, which is also called the brick, because that's how it steers. The one thing is the Lambda is you could probably get, if you were lucky, one pass with the guns and then you'd kind of run off to the other side of the board. This thing, you can actually turn it around.
Turn it right on a dime.
Turn it on a dime. And
Like
I think,
a record baby.
Yeah, round like a record baby, yeah.
I think
and a
this is
one
awesome.
hard as well.
I think this is awesome. Yeah, I
It's
really...
a great dial.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I really don't think I really don't know if you want to put on the ailerons at all.
I mean, for
Makes it
one,
faster.
It makes it faster, but turning it a one sloop, it's crazy.
So the free title changes those red 3 banks to white, but Twin Iron Engine Mark II is only 1 point, and that would make them green.
Yeah.
Oh, don't put ailerons on it. Just run it like a slow ship.
Like this ship punches face.
Yeah, this thing, that's what I mean, like
fighters.
it's a brawler. So I'm really excited about this one. I think I think, when you think about the crew options, the fact that it's got 3 red, the fact that, it's got a stop, it's got one sloop, a 1 hard, 1 forward green. You just fly these in and just mess things up.
I'm actually a little bit sad because I don't think I'll get a Reaper. I wanted to before version 2 was announced. I was going to get the Renegades pack and the Reaper because even though I don't talk about it as much as the Rebels, I really enjoy flying Imperial.
Yeah.
But now that I've got to get another core set and the conversion kits, and I will be getting an Imperial conversion kit.
Yeah.
I probably won't pre-order it because I'm not going to be able to afford it all at once. But in a few,
What's the pre-order going to be like for conversion kits?
I think in Australian dollars it's going to be about 70.
Really?
The
Yep.
core set.
Yeah, no, for a conversion kit. I think they're about $50 US, which I think is 70 Australian. Which, look,
That's rough.
The whole thing, it's a whole other conversation about whether that's okay. But I think it is, in the sense that it would be way more expensive to buy all the ships and individual blisters and so on and so on. But the point is, it is extra money, and I am going to get a Rebel and Imperial conversion kit.
Yeah.
Just not at the same time.
You're looking down the barrel of $150.
Yeah, and if I don't buy a Reaper, I can buy a conversion kit for the Rebels, and yeah, it's
I see the
I
dilemma
can
here.
afford this stuff, but not all on the same day.
Yeah, I think, and maybe when we go back to talk about 2.0, I think that's a conversation worth having,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
there's been some chatter on the interwebs.
I think we're going off topic. Let's finish up here with the Reaper.
All right.
Yep. The Vizier.
Vizier.
I like this one. I'm so excited for
Vizier.
this. So he is PS3, so he'll be a lower PS in the new edition. His ability is after a friendly ship executes a 1-speed maneuver, if it is at range 1 and it did not overlap a ship, you may assign one of your focus or evade tokens to it.
That seems like it would go really well with other Reapers. Which is why there's other Reapers in the background.
Yeah.
That's Strikers.
Oh, it's Strikers. Look, you know what? Actually, you know what? Depending on their points cost and stuff like that, maybe there's a potential for flying a couple of Reapers in a squadron.
Okay, next question. It is a at range 1, if you do not overlap a ship, you may assign one of your focus tokens or evade tokens.
So it's support.
But its range, it's PS. Oh no, because it's going to move first. Yeah,
Yes.
don't listen to me.
Yeah, that's okay. It's okay as an ability. It's okay.
Even though he's PS3, he's too high a PS for
Correct.
this ability. It's
Needs
ridiculous.
to be PS1.
Yeah. Because if you're flying a generic, generic wingmates, they're going to have low pilot skills. So this guy wants to have recon specialist on there.
Yes.
And be lower pilot skill. Either that or the strikers need to be PS3 or higher.
Scarab defenders.
Can you fit on like Pure Sabak and that other?
You could.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Duchess and Pure Sabak.
Yeah.
Also Countdown, which is PS5.
Countdown would be good with this.
Countdown would go well with this. Look, you know what? I flew the Striker the other night when I was flying against Lachlan and loved it. It was probably the first time since launch and I was enjoying it a lot.
How fun is it flying a striker?
I'm going to be flying Strikers I'm going back to Strikers now.
I'm going to fly my ship in an S shape. Why? Because I can.
Yeah.
It wasn't the optimal move. It was fun though.
I don't care.
Let's just finish up with this last pilot.
Yes,
Mike.
Captain Faroff.
Faroff?
Faroff. Yeah, Faroff.
Okay.
Captain Faroff.
Sick DJing.
So he's a PS4. When defending, if the attacker is jammed, add 1 evade result to your roll. So good.
Yeah.
ISB slicer on there.
Boom.
Laugh at it.
Yeah, and again, a great brawler. I see these things, I would say, strategy-wise, these things want to be in range 1 of the enemy. I think you want to be maximising your damage output, and I think you want to be able just right in their face.
Yeah, I think I would like to fly oh my god!
What?
Yeah?
The thing that we already talked about. The thing. Wait, where's
thing?
the thing?
thing?
Shush. The thing. The tactical officer.
Correct.
Yeah.
The other thing. Hang on. This is difficult. Brain. Ouch. Hurt. The TIE bomber.
Yes.
The TIE bomber.
Okay.
The TIE bomber can have coordinate now.
Correct. Yes.
The TIE bomber could be useful, maybe.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say.
The TIE shuttle.
Sorry, it was so
So
difficult.
That was a great joke, Lockie.
I wasn't even joking. I was just having a hard time thinking.
Yeah. So again, the TIE bomb. Yeah, the TIE bomber, the top with the shuttle upgrade.
Top of your head, how much does a TIE bomber cost?
16 points.
Oh, yes!
Yes.
It is good!
Yeah.
It is good!
Yep. And it's got 2 cruise slots. So
It could totally work.
Yeah, it'll work really well, and I'll be happy.
Yeah. Okay, that was fun.
Cool.
Shall we move on to lore?
Yes.
Please.
Mike's
Yes,
ready
please.
for this. He's been preparing.
I did homework.
To defeat an enemy, you must know them. Not simply their battle tactics, but their history, philosophy, art.
Okay, welcome back to the lore section. So I've decided that given that the game is changing, shall we say, it's evolving, I'm gonna go into a little bit of the history of the Star Wars universe and talk about the broad sweep of the evolution of combat in the Star Wars universe going back 5,000 years. So seeing that we're moving from Edition 1 to Edition 2...
5,000 years.
5,000 years.
It felt like that sometimes.
Yeah, that's right. So 1 X-Wing year is equivalent to 2,000 Star Wars years, I guess. So we can say that.
Look,
How many dog years is that?
I don't know. Millions?
14,000?
That's pretty good.
Woof.
Yeah. Maths. Do it. So anyway, so let's talk about it. So look, I want to go back and... believe it or not, like people talk about how the Star Wars universe was static and there was no change, and how come things look the same as they were thousands of years ago. So I've dug into both legends and canon. I actually think we can actually talk about why.
Cool.
So that there's a bit of explanation.
I was saying, I think
Yeah.
at the very start, we're talking about the Hammerhead Corvettes, which are in Rogue One.
Yeah.
And they are ships from
Old Republic.
Old Republic. I think
Yeah.
it's mostly because they wanted to put those. Everyone's
Yeah.
really a fan of it. Like, let's put them in, and like, oh god, we have to make a lore sec. We have to make that
Yeah.
work lore wise.
I think
Yeah.
at the start of KOTOR, you wake up in one of those, don't you?
I don't know. I never played it.
Yeah.
What?
I know. I've never played KOTOR or KOTOR 2
okay.
or Jedi Academy.
I don't know you at all.
I'm sorry, I've
go
never
to
actually-
Steam. They're really cheap. They're on special at the moment. Anyway, so let's talk about it. So we're going to go back to 5,000 years, or at least in Star Wars history, 5,000 BBY before the Battle of Yavin, which is in Episode 4. And we're going to talk about what we call the Great Hyperspace War.
Cool.
So this is when the Republic. So the Republic was just beginning. It was starting to establish itself. It was at sort of like this golden age of the Republic, and then a couple of let's call them explorers or people stumbled across this little planet called Korriban, which turned out to be the center of this new Sith Empire.
Cool.
Now
Is that the one from? That's not the one from Rebels, is it?
Korriban, yes.
Ha!
So Korriban. So in
Check me out.
When did they
Oh
go
no,
to
that
Korriban
was was that a different pattern? Was that the one where they went to where the big temple was?
Yeah, the underground temple. They fall through the thing, and they have to fight Okay.
Different planet.
Damn it.
Anyway, moving on. Anyway, so what happened was
Wind straight for my sails.
that's okay. But the Sith Empire was going through a period of change. The great Sith Lord Marka Ragnos had just died. There was a power play happening, and eventually a guy called Naga Sadao emerged as the Emperor of the Sith, took over, looked across the galaxy, said, hang on a minute, I like the look of your systems. I think, you know what we'll do? We're going to invade.
Quick question. Is this
Yes.
before the Rule of Two?
Yes, I'll actually be touching upon that as well.
Sick.
So at this time, the Sith Empire for thousands of years was actually an empire. There were thousands of Sith. They had a civilization. They were huge, and they ruled large parts of the galaxy. So anyway, this war went on for a long time, and the Sith nearly won. They nearly destroyed the Republic. But it was also known as the Golden Age of battleships. So this is when big capital ships dominated the combat. So the Sith ships had like torpedo tubes, so their big thing was to go in and like shoot torpedoes and just blow everything up. And the Republic, in response, develops these massive capital ships with big turbo lasers, and they just kind of like fire at each other.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so you imagine these. So the way to think of it is like pirate ships, ships of the line, that kind of things. They line up against each other and just blast at each other like that. Anyway, this all coincided at the Second Battle of Korriban around about 5000 BBY, where the Republic destroyed the Sith forces, and Naga Shadao fled and went to a little place called Yavin 4. Which
I've heard of it.
Yeah, we've heard of Yavin 4.
Yeah, there was a temple there once, maybe.
Yeah, no, but what happened, so he went there, he found a whole bunch of natives called the Masasai, which are these kind of red-skinned people, performed a whole lot of Sith alchemy on them and just mutated them. They turned around, worshipped him as a god emperor, and built those temples. So the temples at the...
Oh, they're not Jedi temples, they're Sith temples.
Yeah, they're Sith temples.
They became the Jedi Temple in Legends.
Yes.
That was where Luke trains new Jedi.
Yes.
Ah, so they were Sith temples and then took them over.
Yeah. So...
Appropriating our culture.
Yes, exactly.
Sorry.
So that's right. But anyway, at that point, the Sith disappeared for 1,000 years ago. History happened. Lots of back and forth stuff. I won't go too much into it.
Sorry, I just love the phrase "history happened."
That's going to be... Actually, we should change that to the name of our law section, to History Happened.
If only I could have written that as an essay back at school. History happened.
Is the history happened 1,000-year gaps?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, history happens isn't 1,000 years gap. Anyway, new Sith Empire emerges. And this is around about 25 BBY. So between 2,500 and 1,000 BBY, there was a period of time called the New Sith Wars. And this was a rolling series of wars, civil wars. The Sith Empire would collapse, they'd reform, then they'd spread off into competing warlords. The Jedi were continually fighting them, etc., for a period of time. So you got to a point of about 1,000 BBY. And during this time, big capital ships flying around, and also the emergence at this time was the Sith Fighter, which is a little thing, which is actually the genesis of the TIE Fighter and a lot of that type of stuff as well. So you saw that kind of stuff. It ended up being this massive battle between the Sith and the Jedi on a planet called Rusen. Now, the Jedi wiped out the Sith in the series of battles.
To a man.
To a man.
Oh.
But the only reason they did so was because a dude called Darth Bane...
Yep. No.
Yep. Helped actually orchestrate the end of the Sith. And he's the one who established the Rule of Two.
Yeah.
So he's the dude who did that.
Quickly, what is the Rule of Two?
The Rule of Two is that there will be a master and an apprentice. He looked at the Sith and said, "You guys are useless. You're always fighting. The reason we always lose is because you're too busy fighting with each other." So his solution to the problem was just get rid of, most of the Sith. And so for those 1,000 years, and this impacted the Star Wars warfare, because at the end of that, everybody went, "Hooray! We've won. The Sith are gone forever." So the Republic dismantled their fleets. Shrunk all their ships down to like corvette or frigate size, established the planetary judicial forces, the security forces as such, and for that 1,000 years was a period of peace.
I just want a quick question.
Sure.
The Sith,
Yeah.
were they a race of people initially, and then they became a religion? Like we are the Sith people from this planet, and then you get to a point
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no. So depending. So if you go to Legends, if you look at this kind of stuff, so the Sith were, if you like, the Darksiders. They split off even further back, like 30,000 years ago. They split off from the Jedi in the sort of the Civil War. They disappeared off into the outer region type stuff. Landed on a planet, met a race of people who were called the Sith, who were red-skinned.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah. And adopted that name as a kind of as part of their identity as well.
So before meeting the Sith, they were just bad
Dark side users.
Dark side. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then the Sith became like their name, and then that was also sort of. But then it didn't matter, because that's why they're all redskins. It's just tradition.
So again, in the sort of older EU and this sort of old Republic era, you would have Sith purebloods. So people would sort of it was almost like a caste system in some respects. So you'd have people who would sort of, if they had pure Sith blood and dark force ability, they'd be higher up the social hierarchy and stuff like that. But eventually they kind of just died out.
Some Draco Malfoy kind of stuff.
Yeah, pretty much that kind of thing as well. So anyway, so what happened? So there was something called the Ruusan Reformation, named after that battle on that planet, and that's when the Republic literally disarmed. They didn't worry about it
because all the Sith were dead.
Well, there was no threat. There was nothing to worry about. So that's what I mean. So when you say, so the reason why you look back to sort of 5,000 years or 2,000 years and you go, oh, okay, but how come, the ships didn't change very much and nothing happened? Well, basically what happened was they got rid of all their capital ships and all their fighters and that type of stuff. So when you came back to the period of the Clone Wars, people were looking back at all these designs. They were looking back at all these examples of ships and rebuilding them, bringing them back just going, hey, these plans look good. I like the look of this.
I find that hard to believe.
Well,
I guess.
Yeah. Anyway.
I remember, we all put our guns down between wars, and then we'll look back and it was like, you know what, this World War, swords and shields. I think those Romans, I think they got it right.
Yeah. Anyway, so what was happening? So we're leading up. So that period of 1,000 years, and that's the period. When the reference in the Clone Wars for 1,000 years, the Jedi ruled. Blah blah blah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's that period leading up to the Clone Wars. The Republic, as we know, is starting to fall apart. And then you had a whole lot of groups and systems in the Outer Rim and such start to kind of want to break away from the Republic, and they started building their own fleets. So like the Trade Federation, so they started building up capital ships. So you had a whole lot of other, so like these military powers or forces started emerging in the lead up to the Clone Wars. Then the Clone Wars happened. And it was that point that the Republic itself rearmed.
The Confederacy of Independent Systems.
Yes. So what happened was you had this return. So you had the return of these big capital ships.
That they literally got plans from that are like 1,000 years old. Were like these.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they modified it and redid the paint.
This one has a racing stroke. I'm an engineer.
It goes faster. Yeah, it goes faster as such. But I think what that actually triggered off, if you think about it, that triggered off almost like an arms race. So these ships became bigger and bigger and bigger until eventually you saw something emerge
the Death Star.
the Death Star, but also the Executor class, which is massive type stuff as well.
When you say the Clone Wars, are you saying
Legends Clone Wars or Canon Clone Wars?
Well, canon Clone Wars.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm sort of mixing a bit of legend and canon in here.
I'll leave it
Yeah.
until the end, just so in case you cover it. But do you know about the Katana fleet?
No.
Nope, didn't touch upon
Tell us
that.
now.
I'll tell you.
Okay, I won't get to the end of that. But anyway, so what you saw happen was the emergence, and in many respects, what happened was this phase in the evolution mimicked what happened in the late 19th century and the early 20th century, which was called the battleship race, when Germany and Britain built these massive ships, and every year they'd pump out bigger and bigger and bigger and more destructive battleships, as such like that. So eventually, you get to the Clone Wars period, and then you get to the Rebellion period, where the Rebels and the Imperials are fielding these massive kind of dreadnought class type things, or the Nebulan Bees and stuff like that.
The
Mon Cal, like things like Home 1 and stuff
really
like that.
Cool. I like those.
Yeah, that's true. So basically, and so really, I guess what I'm sort of, if I was to distill everything, and hopefully it makes sense to listeners there. What I'm saying there was a period of evolution. There was this golden age of sort of big capital ships and big sort of navies and stuff like that. That disappeared for a period of time, and then that re-emerged.
War will do that.
Yeah, and sort of war prompted that.
War brings out the big guns.
Yeah, that's right. And I think the way to think of it is sort of like the sort of key concept is really there is you think about it, the capital ships, the way they're treated in the Star Wars universe, you think of them like the big sort of, the golden age of sail, which is the broadside,
Yeah.
Like one ships of the line lined up against each other and just boom, 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 shooting at each other, The interesting thing about that in terms of tactics was the Imperial Navy liked to shoot at range. They liked to sort of hang back and, like a classic battleship, shoot, thousands of kilometers and stuff like that. And that's their preferred tactic. Whereas the Rebels actually like to get in and brawl. So, in Return of the Jedi, that moment when Akbar says, get in there close, that was actually to their tactical advantage, because their ships were better suited to that brawling and broadside and that type thing as well.
I guess so. Like, we all know how destructive Star Destroyers could be, especially at range, when those cannons, they could hit like a truck. But and I think the Rebel ships were not specifically designed for combat. I think most of them were just sort of transports. They were just kind of like, well, let's stick a cannon on it, let's see if it works. And they were more involved with their fighters, because these X-Wings were better than TIE fighters.
Yeah, and that's why the X-Wing fighters
but they can't work at range.
No, but that's why they excelled so well when they would come in close to the start. That's why they Rebel tactics excelled in actually getting in there close.
Another good example is Scarif, fighting above Scarif, where they get those hammerheads.
The hammerheads, exactly.
Just straight into them. That'll work.
I mean, if you remember from in the Battle of Return of the Jedi, an A-Wing destroys the shield generator of a Star Destroyer just by shooting it with its normal lasers.
Yes.
But, point blank range inside the shields, Yeah,
exactly, that type of thing. And at the same time, starships sort of followed a similar evolution. And I think it's worth remembering that, they sort of, starfighters, we had these big massive battles, big capital ships. They would brawl with each other while the starfighters would, tangle with each other and all the rest of it. And they'd try to either protect the the capital ships. And one thing I thought was worth mentioning is what the Rebels or the Alliance excelled at was developing tactics to kind of get in there and do this stuff. And they had a little tactic which I thought sounded really cool, called the A-Wing Slash.
Cool.
So basically what would happen is a squadron of X-Wings would kind of scream in at a capital ship, and the A-Wings would sort of be hidden in thrust engines, like they couldn't see them. They'd be kind of like behind the X-Wing, being the heat signature being masked by the X-Wing's jet stream type stuff.
That's cool.
Then what would happen is that as they came in close to the target, the X-Wings would then pull off, drawing attention and fire and looking like they're going to attack something else. And then the A-Wings would come in hard with concussion missiles and just go boom, 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 and just wreck face that way. So. Yeah,
because A-Wings, they couldn't take hits.
No, they couldn't.
And they did have quite a small profile, so getting behind those X-Wings, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
okay,
that's it.
Or those listeners who play Armada, reach out to us. Does that work? Is that a thing that could work in Armada? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the closest thing I have.
Cool. Anyway, that's it.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh, is that it?
You said keep it short.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
That was cool. I like that. I like that, especially towards the end when he was speaking about the difference between naval ships versus rebel ships.
Yeah.
How does it work with sort of like the real life comparison with the naval ships? Because in real life we don't have spaceships and we don't have little tiny fighters. What is there any comparison you can make?
Look, I would probably say maybe. Actually, you know what? I can think of a really good example, and this is going to be really obscure. So I think it was around about 1904, the Russo-Japanese War, when the Russian naval fleet fought the Japanese fleet. They both had big ironclad battleships.
Cool.
The Japanese won by having a whole lot of smaller kind of torpedo craft, and they would zip around and just fire off torpedoes and sink the Russian capital ships like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so...
Thank you.
Yeah.
Plus there's, they're aircraft carriers with
Correct.
little planes on them.
Yes.
The aircraft carrier flies up and... sorry, that was Winter Soldier.
Yeah. When the aircraft carrier is hovering above
it just comes out of the ocean, you're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
But
That didn't happen.
But it reminded me, and look, wanted to do this at the end because cut it for time if you have to, but the Katana fleet was something from the original novels that introduced Thrawn into old canon. That it was during the Clone Wars, which in the old EU was really mysterious and stuff. So there was this Republic fleet that had a slave circuit, which is kind of Star Wars speak for like autopilot. So they were all linked together. So but it malfunctioned, and this one ship jumped into hyperspace, but then all the others followed it, and they all went shot off into hyperspace. Yet no one knew where they went because
They disappeared.
they were all programmed to fly themselves, and they were all run automatically and full of droids. So off went this one ship, and then they all just disappeared. And the Republic went, "Oh, okay, well there goes our fleet. Bye, I guess." and then after Return of the Jedi, Grand Admiral Thrawn was sitting back going, "Oh my God, okay, the Empire's losing. How do we win? We need a fleet. Wait a second. There's a free fleet somewhere in the galaxy. We just have to find it." So they went looking for it, and then one of these old EU novels was basically just the Republic and the Imperial Remnant both trying to get to this fleet and see who could get there first.
That's traveling in hyperspace, maybe.
No, it came out of hyperspace
just hanging around
near a planet, except nobody really knew where it was. And so they both knew there was a whole fleet out there in perfect nick. It was just a little bit old, but yes, they both. Yeah, it was just which one of them was going to get to it first.
Oh, someone got sacked for that.
Yeah.
The old EU.
That's awesome.
Oh, and in the old EU, every second person was a clone, so it's probably good that the old EU is not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Why, you stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder!
It's the end of the night, ladies and gentlemen. It's been an enjoyable experience. We've been here for a bit longer than just the recording of this. Before this, we recorded Blitz in Space, Episode 2, which we all actually had a lot of fun with. I think we have some time to move on to some shout-outs. First one to Patrick Meyer, said we're a hidden gem amongst an abundance of other podcasts.
Aww.
And thank you. Thank you. I like to see myself as a bit of a gem person.
A hidden one at that time.
A hidden one.
Well, ask Cassie about that.
I am Aladdin.
A diamond in the rough.
I am the diamond in the rough. Wait, if I say that, does that make me immediately not a diamond in the rough?
No, it's fine as long as your monkey doesn't touch anything.
Okay, great. Good.
James Williams, who we've shouted out to before, but during our competition, he shared our page and included the following comment with it. "These guys have held me hostage and told me I have to share their content. Quickly, the only way to save me is to like their content. Oh no, they're inside the building."
That's hilarious.
James, I want you to get under the bed.
We have a gun.
If you see a monkey under there, don't worry, it's Owen's.
He's not going to touch you, I made sure.
Benjamin Jansen likes an Aussie podcast. Thank you very much.
Yes, we are. We are Australian,
Yes.
and that might be weird to some American viewers. Apparently we have accents.
G'day, mate.
G'day, a cobber. No.
Struth.
Struth! boy crikey. Oh, boy crikey. Anthony Gonzalez. He says one of his favourite podcasts, and congratulations on the 500 likes. Mate! 500 likes!
Mate.
Yeah.
That was actually Owen's true voice. He changed it for the show.
I do, for the show, just for all you lovely listeners. Normally, I speak like this.
So, to anybody who didn't understand, what he said was that we think that Anthony is a friend of ours and we appreciate his interest.
And thank you kindly. We have indeed reached 500 likes, and that made me just a very, very happy man.
I'm happy about that too. Will Hope, who has just started listening to us, welcome, Will. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
And welcome aboard to Bruce Enos as well, who told us that he's a new listener, but he'll be a loyal follower of ours, which... Thanks, we really appreciate it, and especially as we go into version 2.
You know what my least favourite thing about version 2 is? We said the beginning of this year would be Hell of a Pilot Season 2, and we couldn't align it.
Yeah.
Which is just a shame.
Also, my head is really spinning with... I need help making content for the Facebook page. I don't really know what, if any... the jokes I've already made make sense with version 2. Like, I had a whole lot of pictures I was going to post. I thought, oh yeah, these are kind of funny, and now I don't know. So if you think of a meme you want to see on our Facebook page, there's like a 90% chance I'll post it if you send it to me. So
yes,
yeah,
and obviously we'll credit you.
Oh yeah.
Okay, one last shout out before we move on to a lovely draw. When we recorded Blitz in Space, Mike said, he's got a lot on. He's started university again. What are you studying, Mike?
Big history.
Nice.
Yeah, that's how come he knows that history happened.
Yeah. That's
In all of his reports, history happened. The end.
Yeah, 5,000 words to just type out history happened like 5,000 times.
Amazing. So he will no longer be doing the voice of Baron Gundark, but I have a good friend, Cameron Emerson. He's been in my D&D group since I've had a D&D group, upwards of 10 years. Wow. And he's always been really funny with the voices that he's done. And I thought, mate, come on board. I've got a thing for you, and I've had to be very specific about how I wanted Baron Gundark, because he, big shoes to fill and all that. And what do you think, Mike? How'd you go?
I thought it was excellent. I thought it was really well done. Had the right touch of Thrawn.
Yes.
A touch of Thrawn.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of the podcast, and we've hit 500 likes.
Whoa.
And man of my word, we've got ourselves a nice... Actually, I said a hat, but we have a bowl. It's ooh,
China.
Your name is in here. If you shared it, your name is in this lovely bowl.
I don't want to make a big deal out of this, but if you put it on your head, it'll kind of be a hat.
All right, listen. There we go.
Oh my god!
He did it.
Okay, we were drawing the we're drawing the name from the hat.
I'm drawing it. Yep.
Mike is drawing the name from the hat.
I have it here from the hat.
What, Mike? Who is getting it?
Drum roll is...
I can't.
Okay. Trevor Betts.
Trevor Betts.
Congratulations, Trevor.
Good.
Okay, so yeah, send us a message at the Facebook page. So yeah, private inbox one, so nobody else can see your address except us.
Except us, and yes, please do. We'll send it out to you post haste. I'm looking forward to it, and I would listen, Trevor, mate. I want
that means friend.
Yes, it does mean friend. Please also tell me your shirt size.
That helps.
I would hate to send you a size extra large in your...
just send him a 4XL and he'll take it in.
Yeah. Just leave it in the dryer for a while. And send us a photo. See what you think. Tell us what you think about the shirts. Also, we have shirts, guys.
Buy shirts.
Also, we have shirts. You should think about maybe getting a shirt. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the night. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Lockie, for joining us. Thank you, Mike, for having us. Thank you, Cassie, for sitting there patiently while we record. Anyway, thank you. Thank you, listeners, and good night.